You've probably heard the phrase, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. When it comes to your home, that impression is formed long before anyone rings the doorbell. It isn't the paint color, the windows, or even the front door that people notice first. It's the landscaping. The shrubs and plants around your home act like a frame around a picture, shaping how the entire property feels at a glance and setting the emotional tone before a single step is taken inside. The issue is that many front yards miss their potential because plants are often placed without a clear plan. Shrubs get planted here and there with no real attention to balance, contrast, or visual flow. Instead of feeling welcoming and polished, the space ends up looking disconnected, flat, or uninspired. The good news? That's completely fixable. In this video, you'll discover 7 stunning shrub combinations that can dramatically elevate your home's curb appeal. These pairings aren't chosen randomly. Each one is designed with texture, height, proportion, and year-round interest in mind. The goal is a landscape that looks beautiful in every season, not just when flowers are in full bloom. Let's dive in. 1. Boxwood plus hydrangea, classic sophistication that never goes out of style. If your goal is a front yard that feels refined, balanced, and effortlessly elegant, the combination of boxwood and hydrangea is hard to beat. Think of this pairing as the landscape version of a tailored suit. Timeless, polished, and always appropriate. Picture a walkway lined with rich green boxwoods, their dense foliage shaped into tidy rounds or clean geometric forms. Just behind them, hydrangeas rise up in soft, billowing layers, covered in generous blooms that glow in shades of creamy white, gentle blush, or fresh lime green. Together, they create a perfect harmony. Structure paired with softness, order blended with romance. Boxwoods form the backbone of this design. As evergreen shrubs, they offer consistency and definition throughout the entire year. Even in winter, when most plants are bare, boxwoods remain lush and sculptural, keeping your landscape looking intentional and refined. You can keep them neatly trimmed for a formal appearance or allow a slightly looser shape for a more relaxed feel. Either way, they provide a sense of permanence and elegance. Hydrangeas bring the drama. Their oversized blooms add movement, volume, and seasonal excitement. Varieties like Annabelle, Limelight, and Little Lime are especially effective. Annabelle produces large, glowing white flower spheres that seem to light up the garden, even in low evening light. Limelight begins its season with fresh green blooms that slowly mature into creamy white, offering months of evolving color and interest. To achieve a professional layered look, spacing is key. Plant boxwoods roughly 18 to 24 inches apart to create a continuous, structured border. Behind them, place hydrangeas about 3 to 4 feet back so they have enough room to expand naturally. This creates depth and visual rhythm, making the landscape feel full without appearing crowded. Both plants prefer well-draining soil. Hydrangeas enjoy consistent moisture and partial sun, while boxwoods are happy with slightly drier conditions and several hours of direct light. Applying a layer of mulch around the base helps regulate soil temperature and retain moisture, benefiting both shrubs. During winter, when hydrangeas drop their leaves, the boxwoods continue to anchor the space with evergreen color. Then, as warmer months return, hydrangeas burst back into bloom, softening the structure and creating that classic estate garden atmosphere. For added sophistication, consider installing subtle landscape lighting. Low uplights placed near boxwoods or hydrangeas can cast warm glows and gentle shadows, giving your front yard depth and elegance even after sunset. This pairing does more than beautify your home. It tells a story of balance, refinement, and timeless design. Boxwood and hydrangea together create a front yard that feels intentional, upscale, and welcoming, regardless of the size of your budget. 2. Lavender plus roses, a romantic cottage-inspired escape. Now let's shift into a completely different atmosphere, one that feels warm, nostalgic, and deeply emotional. Lavender and roses create the ultimate cottage garden pairing, perfect for anyone who wants their landscape to engage the senses and evoke a sense of calm and romance. Before you even notice the colors, you'll notice the fragrance. The calming herbal scent of lavender blends beautifully with the rich, classic perfume of roses. It's the kind of aroma that instantly brings to mind golden sunsets, quiet evenings, and peaceful moments outdoors. Then your eyes catch up. silvery green lavender foliage below, with roses rising above in soft pinks, creamy whites, peaches, or deep reds. The effect is pure romance. This pairing is as practical as it is beautiful. Lavender naturally repels many of the pests that commonly attack roses, including aphids and beetles. By planting lavender nearby, you create a natural defense system, reducing the need for chemical treatments and keeping your roses healthier with less effort. Another reason this duo works so well is that both plants share similar growing needs. They thrive in full sun and prefer soil that drains well, making them easy companions in the same planting bed. To design this combination effectively, choose compact lavender varieties like English lavender or Munstead. These stay relatively low and tidy, forming fragrant borders that release scent whenever you brush past them. Position your roses behind the lavender, spacing them about 12 to 18 inches apart. This allows rose blooms to rise gracefully above the lavender, creating a layered look that feels natural yet carefully planned. When selecting roses, you have plenty of options. For easy care and non-stop blooms, varieties like Knockout or Drift roses are excellent choices. If you prefer a more traditional, luxurious appearance, David Austin roses or classic tea roses offer lush, full blossoms with intoxicating fragrance. The visual effect is enchanting. Imagine walking along a sunlit path bordered by lavender, its purple flowers swaying gently and releasing their soothing scent. Behind it, roses explode with color, catching the light and adding height and drama. It's more than a garden, it's an experience. Watering is simple but important. Both plants dislike overly wet soil, so water deeply but allow the soil to dry slightly between sessions. Once established, lavender becomes highly drought tolerant, and roses with deep root systems handle dry spells well. Maintenance brings rewards. Lightly trim lavender after its first bloom to encourage a second flush of flowers. Regularly deadhead roses to promote continuous blooming. With just a bit of consistent care, you'll enjoy months of color and fragrance. To enhance the cottage feel, consider edging the bed with light-colored gravel or stone mulch. This not only looks charming, but also reflects sunlight, helping keep the soil warm and the plants healthy. For even more depth and extended bloom time, add companions like catmint or salvia. These attract pollinators and keep the garden lively long after the main blooms have passed. Lavender and roses together create more than curb appeal. They create emotion. This pairing captures the beauty of old-world gardens, the comfort of familiar scents, and the quiet joy of nature working in harmony. It's not just a front yard, it's a romantic welcome home, every single day. 3. Japanese maple plus azalea, a harmonious display of color and form. If your goal is a front yard that instantly captures attention and invites admiration, the pairing of Japanese maple and azalea is nothing short of spectacular. It is like watching nature perform a symphony, delicate, intricate, and mesmerizing all at once. Picture the soft morning sunlight streaming through the lacy, finely divided leaves of a Japanese maple. Each leaf shimmers in colors ranging from deep ruby and bronze to golden amber, creating a dynamic, almost ethereal visual effect as it sways in the breeze. Beneath the tree, a dense layer of azaleas erupts in vibrant color, a carpet of pink, purple, coral, and white blossoms that spreads across the garden like a living painting. The combination produces an impression that balances tranquility with striking vibrancy, giving your front yard a feeling of artistry and intention. The Japanese maple brings elegance and movement to the landscape. Its cascading branches and delicately cut leaves provide vertical structure while softening the scene with gentle motion. Choose compact, front yard-friendly varieties such as Bloodgood, Emperor Surfaduri, or Tamukiyama to enjoy vivid seasonal color without overwhelming your space. Complementing the maple's refined grace, azaleas provide a grounded, dense layer of lush foliage and show-stopping flowers. Their clustered blooms and rich leaves create a striking contrast against the airy branches of the maple. This layered effect mirrors the aesthetic of Japanese gardens, combining calm structural elements with cheerful bursts of color. Both plants thrive under similar conditions: partial sunlight, moist but well-drained soil, and slightly acidic conditions. Morning sun paired with dappled afternoon shade is ideal. Enrich the planting area with compost or pine bark mulch to retain moisture and provide a stable environment for healthy root growth. For planting, elevate the Japanese maple slightly on a mound or raised bed and arrange azaleas around or in front of it. This creates natural tiers that give your front yard depth and dimension, producing a landscape that appears professionally designed with minimal effort. Seasonal interest is constant with this duo. In spring, azaleas steal the show with their vibrant flowers. During summer, their deep green leaves complement the Japanese maple's canopy. In autumn, the maple's foliage transforms into fiery reds, ambers, and burgundy, offering an eye-catching display that contrasts beautifully with the azalea's evergreen form. Even in winter, the maple's sculptural bare branches maintain visual interest, providing a striking backdrop against frost or snow. Maintenance is straightforward yet rewarding. Lightly prune the Japanese maple in late winter or early spring to maintain its silhouette and open structure. Trim azaleas immediately after their blooms fade to avoid cutting off next year's flower buds. Applying a fresh layer of pine mulch annually preserves soil acidity, helps retain moisture, and gives your garden a polished finish. For added depth and interest, consider planting shade-tolerant companions like ferns, hostas, or heucheras at the base. They enhance the woodland effect while filling empty spaces with texture. Nighttime lighting beneath the maple adds a magical ambiance, casting shimmering light across branches and flowers. The Japanese maple and azalea combination is more than just a planting choice. It is a sensory experience. It offers movement, color, and structure that changes with the seasons, transforming a front yard into a serene and vibrant sanctuary where elegance, refinement, and energy coexist seamlessly. 4. Spirea plus Barberry, vibrant, low-maintenance power pairing. For homeowners seeking bold, continuous color without the hassle of constant upkeep, Spirea and Barberry form a striking and virtually maintenance-free combination. This duo provides a vibrant, modern aesthetic, creating visual interest and energy throughout the year. Spirea serves as the soft, romantic component of the pairing. These resilient shrubs grow in graceful mounds, producing profusions of tiny flowers during late spring and early summer. Depending on the variety, blooms may be white, pink, or deep magenta, creating a cloud-like effect that attracts pollinators such as bees and butterflies. Even after flowering, Spirea's foliage transitions into stunning autumn colors, gold, orange, or red, extending seasonal visual appeal. Barberry adds bold contrast to Spirea's gentle form. With varieties such as Crimson Pygmy, Royal Burgundy, or Golden Rocket, the plant provides deep maroon, rich purple, or bright chartreuse foliage that retains its intensity from spring through fall. Even under extreme summer heat, Barberry maintains vibrant color, giving your yard a lasting, dramatic presence. Together, Spirea and Barberry create a perfectly balanced visual composition. The rounded, delicate blooms of Spirea juxtapose beautifully with the structured, angular branches and vivid leaves of Barberry. This pairing offers both texture and form, pastels and deep tones, resulting in a cohesive design that appears intentional without extensive effort. Both shrubs are hardy, adaptable, and low maintenance. They tolerate full sun, dry conditions once established, and a variety of soil types, including rocky or poor soil. Additionally, they are resistant to pests and urban pollution, making them ideal for city gardens or busy homeowners who desire beauty without significant upkeep. Design recommendations include using Barberry as the structural anchor. Plant along walkways, driveways, or foundations to establish a clear visual line and vibrant backdrop. Fill gaps in front or between Barberry with clusters of Spirea. The contrast between Spirea's delicate blooms and Barberry's rich foliage creates dynamic seasonal interest. During fall, both shrubs produce vivid colors that transform your yard into a living palette. Enhance the visual effect by choosing complementary mulch. Dark brown or black mulch highlights the Barberry's foliage, while natural bark mulch enhances Spirea's warm tones. Maintenance is minimal yet effective. Prune Spirea lightly after flowering to encourage new growth and potentially a second bloom. Barberry only requires annual shaping to maintain neatness. Both plants naturally form compact, tidy structures, reducing the need for constant pruning. Spirea and Barberry are versatile, adapting to various garden styles. Use low-growing varieties and maintain rounded forms for a modern, clean look, or allow freer growth for a relaxed, natural effect. Pairing with neutral hardscape elements like gray stone, brick, or gravel enhances the color impact while providing an elegant, cohesive design. The combination of Spirea and Barberry proves that high-impact landscaping doesn't require high-maintenance effort. With texture, color, and year-round appeal, this duo turns an ordinary front yard into a visually exciting and polished display, demonstrating that simple choices can result in spectacular results. 5. Ornamental grasses plus dwarf evergreens. When texture meets perennial structure. For those who admire sleek, contemporary landscapes that maintain visual appeal throughout the year, the combination of ornamental grasses with dwarf evergreens is an exceptional choice. This pairing is where gentle, flowing motion meets solid, structured form, a marriage of natural rhythm and sculpted precision. Visualize it. Tall, airy grasses sway gracefully in the breeze, their seed heads catching the warm glow of the late afternoon sun. Beside them, compact dwarf evergreens stand with calm stability, their deep green foliage providing continuity, even in the depths of winter. Together, they form a composition that appears curated by a professional landscape designer, yet it is surprisingly achievable with a little planning and effort on your part. Begin with ornamental grasses such as blue fescue, fountain grass, or Japanese forest grass, Hakonekloa. These plants bring soft, flowing movement and texture, capturing sunlight and wind to introduce life and energy into your garden. Their airy, flexible forms act as a natural counterbalance to the more rigid, upright shapes of evergreens. Pair them with dwarf evergreens like dwarf Alberta spruce, boxwood, or globe arbor vitae. These shrubs provide year-round structure and permanence, keeping your garden looking intentional and composed even when other plants go dormant. They offer solidity and rhythm, serving as anchors against which the grasses can sway and dance. To achieve a visually dynamic arrangement, space your evergreens evenly to create rhythm and symmetry. Plant the ornamental grasses in the intervals between them. The evergreens create stability, while the grasses inject movement and lightness. On a gentle breeze, the grasses appear to dance, while the evergreens remain steadfast. A beautiful interplay between soft and strong, fluid and controlled, natural and intentional. Maintenance is minimal. Grasses should be trimmed annually, ideally in late winter or early spring, just before new growth emerges. Evergreens only need occasional shaping to retain their defined form. For an elevated aesthetic, install landscape lighting. Soft uplights positioned to shine through the grasses and illuminate the evergreens create shifting shadows and highlight textures, transforming your front yard into a living tableau even after dark. This combination works beautifully in both modern and naturalistic designs. Whether lining a walkway, framing a driveway, or highlighting an entryway, it provides seasonal movement in summer, a stable evergreen presence in winter, and year-round appeal. With careful selection and thoughtful placement, ornamental grasses combined with dwarf evergreens demonstrate that a garden can be both elegant and effortlessly maintained, creating a visually stunning space season after season. 6. Rhododendron plus ferns, crafting a shaded woodland retreat. Shaded front yards are often considered challenging, yet they present a unique opportunity to design a serene, woodland-inspired haven. Few plant pairings capture this atmosphere as perfectly as rhododendrons combined with ferns. This duo transforms shaded corners into lush sanctuaries, cool, inviting, and quietly enchanting. Rhododendrons command attention with their broad, glossy foliage and dramatic clusters of spring flowers. From delicate pinks to pure whites, lavenders to deep reds, their blooms bring vibrant color even in low-light conditions. Their evergreen leaves maintain a rich green backdrop long after flowering fades, ensuring year-round interest. At the base, ferns create a soft, feathery understory. Their delicate fronds arch gracefully, filling gaps between the rhododendrons and producing a layered, textured effect. The contrast between the bold, evergreen leaves of the rhododendrons and the fine, airy foliage of the ferns evokes the feeling of a peaceful forest floor, producing a natural, harmonious composition. Select fern varieties such as Japanese painted fern, lady fern, or autumn fern for subtle variations in hue and texture. Both rhododendrons and ferns prefer similar conditions: slightly acidic, well-drained soil, shaded or dappled light, and consistently cool root zones. Mulch with pine needles or bark to retain soil moisture, maintain acidity, and reinforce the woodland aesthetic. For a balanced arrangement, position rhododendrons slightly behind or to the side to create height and visual interest, allowing ferns to occupy the front or ground level. This layered approach produces depth while maintaining a natural, flowing appearance. In the early morning, dew glistening on fern fronds and soft sunlight filtering through rhododendron blooms creates an almost magical, tranquil scene. Birds and pollinators are naturally drawn to this setting, adding life and sound to the serene environment. In spring, when rhododendrons reach peak bloom, the combination evokes the sense of a living, breathing painting. This pairing excels in areas often considered difficult, under trees in north-facing gardens or along shaded pathways. Minimal pruning is required, and the plants continue to evolve in beauty as the seasons progress. Enhance the space further with moss-covered stones, a small bench, or winding pathways, and you create a private woodland sanctuary in your own front yard. Rhododendrons and ferns are not simply plants. They are the foundation of a serene, enchanting garden space that invites reflection, relaxation, and admiration year-round. 7. Holly plus camellia. Evergreen elegance and winter enchantment. When winter descends and most gardens fade to muted, lifeless shades, a thoughtful plant combination can keep your landscape vibrant and welcoming. The pairing of holly and camellia is perfect for delivering structure, color, and elegance during the cold months when most plants rest. Holly provides the structural backbone. Its glossy, dark green leaves remain vibrant throughout the year, and during winter, bright red berries appear, creating a striking natural decoration. The presence of holly introduces a sense of permanence, symmetry, and architectural beauty, anchoring the garden and giving it form and depth, even when most other plants are dormant. Camellias add a layer of seasonal surprise. Blooming from fall through late winter, these elegant shrubs produce rose-like flowers in shades of red, pink, and white. Some varieties bloom as early as October and continue into February or March, offering unexpected color when few other plants are in flower. Imagine stepping outside on a crisp winter morning to find blossoms unfurling amidst glossy evergreen foliage. The effect is magical, like a scene lifted from a painting. Design them thoughtfully. Plant holly as the structural backdrop, behind or alongside camellias. Position camellias slightly forward to allow their blooms to take center stage. This layering provides depth, contrast, and visual flow, merging formal structure with a natural, welcoming appeal. Both plants thrive in partial sunlight with well-drained, slightly acidic soil. Mulching around the root zones helps maintain moisture, regulate temperature, and promote long-term health, reducing maintenance while ensuring continued visual impact. With this combination, your garden remains active and engaging through all seasons. In summer, holly dominates with rich green foliage. In fall, berries form and camellia buds emerge. During winter, camellias bloom in vivid color against the holly backdrop. In spring, the cycle begins anew, ensuring constant interest and beauty. Placing this pairing near entryways or pathways allows you to enjoy the details up close: glossy leaves, vibrant berries, and delicate flower petals. Together, holly and camellia deliver an evergreen, festive, and sophisticated front yard. Even in the coldest months, they maintain vitality, color, and charm, demonstrating that winter landscapes can be as inviting, elegant, and captivating as those in peak growing seasons.